Before I started recording this, I was about 3 books behind my schedule, and somehow I managed to get on track again. I'm currently on 41 out of 45 books, so I've got about 4 more books to read before the end of the year.
Hey, Editing Faith here. I just want to let everyone know that my Goodreads goal was actually incorrect. At this point in the video, I had all my DNFs linked to my Goodreads that was like logged as read as a 1 star, because usually if I do that, it's like off my TBR. I'm probably not going to pick it up ever again, but if I do, it'll be a reread. It was technically around that 38 mark, the books that I had read at this point, but now I have read I think 42 this year, so it's still not there yet, but I'm going to try my best to finish it as soon as possible. Don't be discouraged, I am going to try and finish it. That is my goal for this year, is to read, how many books did I say? 50. I think I set 50 for this year, so yeah, that's what I'm going to try and do. I have kind of just gotten through the first 7 chapters of Firefly Lane, so that is equal to page 90. In part 2, I just saw that's not too far away. I've also read Off to the Races, my first ever Elsa Silver book ever. I started reading that as a library book, so I don't have any of the physical books with me, but I also downloaded the second book, which is, I think, a photo finish. So I've downloaded a photo finish onto my Kindle that I can read. That would be pretty easy, because the last one was so easy, so fast. Loved it. I've also got Killer Instinct, which could work really well. Yes, I've got a couple of different options available to be able to finish my reading goal for the end of the year. This one's obviously the one that I'm currently reading now. Oh, and I've also got an audiobook to read at the same time, like buddy reading with my partner's mum. That would be fun. And so we're going to be buddy reading Lights Out by Nevessa Allen. So those are the current books that I want to read, that I think I can read before the end of the year. I was also thinking about letting Siri choose how many pages I read throughout the day. So for example, I've read 90 pages and this book is 479. So we would do 479 minus 90, because I've already read 90. Siri's got to choose between 389, as you can see. And apparently she's quite ruthless. Pick a number between 0 and 389.
The answer is 139.
139. So I would need to read up to 229. So I would need to read this much by the end of today. Oh my gosh, okay. So I'm gonna get started on reading then, because I need to read this ASAP. This book is about 2 women following through their lives from high school all the way through to their adulthood and them having kids. And basically it shows the reality of life and how it can change a person and all of their life events that also occurred. It's quite an emotional read. It is also quite realistic, but it is very touching, and I believe specifically made for women to feel like they're not alone in their situations. So I believe this is a very powerful book, and I'm very glad that Kristen Hanna decided to make it, especially now that it is a Netflix show. So that's basically a little rundown on Firefly Lane, and I'm going to start reading this book a little bit more. I was very close to crying whenever I picked this book up last night, because a very sad thing was happening. It's basically like levels on the sadness. Like you have the base sadness, and then more piles on, and then more piles on, and more. It's very realistic, and I'm very happy that it's realistic, but I'm also really sad because it's what real people have to go through. Anyway, I've just downloaded Firefly Lane on Audible. I thought that it would be a lot easier to listen to a book than having to physically read it. Normally, that's how I finish my books, is with an audiobook. I usually like listening to the audiobook and reading it at the same time, so it's like an immersive experience. Sorry for looking horrific, but oh my gosh. Yesterday, it was an amazing reading day. I literally almost read the entire book. It's so good. I can't even believe that I cried. What I'm gonna do now is finish this book this morning before I go to work, and then I'll ask Siri to tell me how many pages to read from 0 to the end of the other book. I'm so excited that I'm finally gonna be reading so much this month. I'm literally getting 5-star feelings from this book. It's so good. I love it so much. Like, I want this copy in my home, but we literally don't sell it here in New Zealand. I have to get it online, but then the shipping costs will ruin me. I just finished Firefly Lane, and I'm sorry about the worst quality I'm on my phone at the moment. Oh my gosh. That's probably the best book I've ever read. Anyway, I'm gonna talk about the book a little bit later on, and I'm thinking I'm gonna start a photo finish. So I'm just gonna ask Siri quickly how many pages I should read. It looks like this book is 420 pages. Pick a number between 0 and 420. 376. I'm gonna have 44 pages left. I'm basically gonna be reading a whole book in a day. Alrighty. A photo finish. The whole book. Oh my gosh. This week has been such a good reading week. Sorry. I actually can't believe that I finished an entire book yesterday. That's like actually insane to me. So basically, I have finished Firefly Lane, an amazing book. I want everyone to read that, especially women within their 20s and wanting children or even early motherhood. I feel like the show and the book is great for that time in your life. And it's like very realistic. It's a very realistic expectation of how life will flow with your children, with your friends, how you guys grow up together, how you guys separate and come back together again. It's a really good book. I would say it's quite accurate to the series as well. But in the movie, you do see more flashbacks from the past to the present. You do see a lot more of that. I'm gonna give that book a 5 out of 5. That was amazing. And I decided to read a photo finish. I ended up just reading the whole book. It took me about 7-ish hours. That was amazing. Again, very good book. Billy's best friend, Violet, and Vaughn, which is Billy's husband, his brother. So he and Violet, they met online. They had like social interactions for about a year. They were very friendly to each other. And then all of a sudden they had to split off because of something happening that she didn't really like. So they stopped communicating, and then all of a sudden he pops up at the Gold Rush Ranch where Violet obviously works. And I think he came back because of his brother and also just the memory of his dad. Their dad passed away, so the brothers have to take over the Gold Rush Ranch. Anyway, Violet was riding on a horse for a race. One of the new guys who were also in the race actually pushed Violet and Dee Dee over, and now she has a broken leg. She can't do anything for about a month, and the only house, surprisingly, that has a 1-floor plan that has a bathroom is, of course, Cole's. So they reunite. It is second chance romance. And that's kind of how everything starts from there. It's not as bantery as Billy and Vaughn's. Billy and Vaughn's banter was just amazing. I loved it. It was so funny. I rated a photo finish, I think about a 4.25 because it was still really fun, really enjoyable. Definitely love it. Definitely recommend reading the Gold Rush Ranch series if you haven't already. And I'm gonna get Siri to give me more pages to read. I was thinking of reading Killer Instinct. Like, why not? Pick a number between 0 and 375.
It's 203.
Okay, 203. So that would get me to chapter 27, just over halfway in the book. And if I want to read more, then I can as well. I've literally been reading more every day so far of the challenge. And he's already been giving me over 300 pages to read. And I'm like, oh, I'm just going to beat that. Teehee, I'm just a girl. So yesterday I got up to page 206 of The Killer Instinct. I was meant to read 203 and I was so tired yesterday. I actually didn't know if I was going to make it, but I just made it, thankfully. That's where I'm at chapter 27, looking pretty snazzy. I feel like the second book in the series, which is this book here, it's a little bit more, I don't know how to describe how I'm feeling about the series in a whole. I feel like the series is good, but since it is YA, it is a little bit mundane and it's like not as thrilling as I would like it to be, whereas if it was an adult series, I think I would love it more. This series is about teenagers who have natural abilities that have been enhanced by trauma that they have had in the past to learn these abilities that they now have. It is more enhanced than anyone else who has them. They have been recruited by the FBI to solve cold cases with them. This book specifically, one of the characters' dads, he is a serial killer and there is a copycat killer of the dad. So they're trying to find who's the copycat killer, obviously. That's kind of like the mystery aspect of in the second book. I do like it. In some parts of the book, I'm like really into it, but other times I'm just like a little bored. Like they're too yappy, but then sometimes the yap is good and sometimes the yap is bad. So I don't know. It's not the worst book I've ever read, but it's also not the best. And I think I'm realizing that I'm not really into YA anymore. But this book also really does remind me of the Shadow Me series because they're all teenagers, all with abilities, obviously. A lot of people compare this book to Criminal Minds, but YA with teenagers. There was another show that it kind of reminded me of, but I can't remember what it was. So that's this book. I've got 169 pages left of the book. I'm going to ask Siri and then I'll pick up another book tomorrow. This is probably the most amount of books I've ever read in a week, ever. It's actually insane. Pick a number 0 through 169.
71.
Okay, cool. I'm going to work again today and then hopefully I can read those 71 pages because that does not seem like a lot and I might actually end up reading the whole thing if I decide to.
I feel like the YA is a bit too YA. I really feel like it just needs some more action, some more gore, some more like language and deeper connections to the relationships because there's meant to be a love triangle within the series, but it doesn't feel like there's any ounce of that love triangle. They're just besties at this point with maybe a teeny tiny smidge of a crush. That's what I'm getting from this book, is them just communicating. With a little bit of, oh, we're not allowed to be out here at this time. We can't do this at this moment. And we're not allowed to be involved into the case. Why are you not allowed to be involved into the case? You're literally recruited from the FBI to help with the cold cases. And then they go out to be involved into the case, even though they're not allowed to be. And all of a sudden they get in trouble for it. And I'm like, this is just high school drama. But I really feel like YA is not for me. I want to be like itching on the edge of my seat, trying to see if they're going to survive all in these cold cases that they've never been a part of because they're in the bloody FBI. Anyway, sorry Jennifer Lynn Barnes, but I don't know what's going on. I wish there was more to it. I feel so much better today. Okay, so yesterday I ended up finishing A Killer Instinct. Holy crap. I don't know. If the whole series was adult, it would be so much better. But it took 250 pages, basically, just of them being told not to do things, getting in trouble for going out of the area. And then the last 100 pages was just them finding the killer. It had like 50 pages left. And then it just wrapped up so quickly. Like, I don't know, it made no sense. I felt like the ending should have been somewhere in the middle to keep the engagement happening, and then to add more plot and angst throughout to the end, where you actually like do something with the killer to make them stop killing. Anyway, that's just my opinion. So today I'm gonna start a Frida McFadden book because her books are quite short and really easy to read, and I do usually love her books. So I think I want to read now The Locked Door by Frida McFadden because her books are always very quick and fast paced. Pick a number 0 through 313.
153.
They basically just want to read like a whole nother book. Good luck to me. 253? 253 pages. Okay. Yay!
230. How many pages was it? 253 pages. Did not work out. I got up to like 35 and throughout the whole day I was like so tired. I could not do that to myself. That was too much. I think it's just the book. I feel like I was disappointed with Killer Instinct, and now any type of thriller I'm just like not into it at the moment, so throwing that one away, starting with Crime Midnight. Hopefully this will change my mind. The writing is so tiny in this book. Why is it so tiny? Pick a number between 0 and 418.
Random number between 0 and 418 is 120.
That's decent. Oh my gosh, I was not looking forward to reading so much. I can do that. I can do that. Look at how pretty. It's a lot to look at, but it's very, very, very pretty. Okay. This book is so pretty. I realize why I've been feeling like I've been hit by a truck, and the woman shall know. Today I feel like crap, and either I'm gonna read or I'm just gonna watch YouTube and edit. Even though I might not have completed the challenge fully this week, the first 3 days were great. Thanks for sticking around. I mean, that's really nice of you.